Well, let's welcome Troy Chaplin too. Of course, he had a terrific career with Port Adelaide, went to Richmond. Now he's a coach and a coach of note. But the Demons having a few problems like a few other teams. Mainly, I think, Blighty, they've got an injury list. I think you said 16 to 17 on their list.
There was on the record last week, 17 to be tested, which means they've got some issues or not playing.
Troy, how are you?
Hey, Wilds, Malcolm, how you going?
Mate, great to speak with you. You've had a wretched run like a few of the other clubs too. You getting any players back? I think you need a few. Any to come back this week?
Yeah, we get a couple back, but we'll probably also lose a couple more just from injury on the weekend. So it hasn't been great, but every club goes through these sorts of things at some stage. So you just got to be able to manage it and deal with it and get on with it.
Troy, it was a late start for you guys. A lot of operations after season, but do you reckon the Hogan exit has hurt you more than perhaps a lot of people thought? They thought at the time you can manage with the players you've got, but he was a bit of a big body up forward for you last year, wasn't he, and the years before?
Yeah, look, Jesse was a very good servant of the club, and I mean, there's been some commentary around the trade, but I mean, we're talking about 10 weeks of a season. I think over the long run, we can probably judge it a bit differently. But at the moment, I don't even know if Jesse would make much difference at the moment. Our connection inside 50 by foot is an area that we need to continue to get better at. We haven't really helped our forwards with the way we've delivered the football. Yeah, look, he's a great player, and we've got one to our club that's had some injuries in Stephen May, but I think it's a bit harsh to be judging the trade at the moment.
Troy, how's Simon Goodwin's health? You know, we saw him with that sort of dizzy spell last week. How's he been for the week, mate?
No, he's fine, Malcolm. He's copped a fair bit of flack from the boys over it. Unfortunately, he did a bit of a cross-training session early that morning, and we rolled straight into meetings, and he just ran himself into the ground. He hadn't eaten or anything, so for those that know him, he's a real workaholic, and it probably just caught up with him on the day. But he was fine. He was fine that afternoon once he got a bit of rest into him.
Now, with the team meetings, I mean, you had a fantastic win against the Crows last year up north.
Smashed them.
Yeah, absolutely smashed them. Have you grabbed any highlights out of that to show what's possible for the Melbourne Football Club?
No, we haven't yet. I mean, our guys know what's possible for them. Obviously, we got Adelaide at the right time. They were sort of a little bit down on form, and it was obviously we were starting to find a little bit ourselves. But I mean, they're two different teams now. Adelaide coming off a couple of really, really close losses, and have been in some good form. I know their record suggests they're in some good form, although they might not. Or the public might not think it either. So they're still a quality team, and obviously we're struggling compared to what we were last year.
Troy, why do you think you are? You've still got a lot of talent. You look through Brayshaw, Oliver, Viney, Petraka, Jones, Big Maxi Gawn. There's still a lot of talent there, but I think a lot of people have been really surprised at how hit and miss Melbourne have been this year, and some really good quarters and some awful quarters. What do you? I know we mentioned injuries, but what do you think the main reason is?
I think it's just down to our own individual form as players. We probably just haven't had the output that we would have liked, and that can be from a range of things, from off-season surgeries to just general form. So we need to get our good players playing well. We've been able to find some guys in terms of obviously with injuries comes opportunity in the likes of Marty Hoare, Jay Lockhart, even Oscar Baker the last couple of weeks. We've seen some guys come in and play a role, but we just need to get our good players playing well, and then guys that have had injuries back on the park as well. And hopefully in the second half of the year that certainly helps.
Has there been a major focus, Troy, as in are the coaching group at the players to do better, or are you trying to relieve the pressure? I know you can do both, but I reckon you've got to go down one track, don't you? You've got to either tell them they're not good enough or get them better, or relieve some pressure, have a bit of fun. What's the go?
Look, it's a great question. We've tried a bit of both. I think the biggest thing that with the guys of today is that you can't just keep going to them with a big bit of 2x4. You've got to be able to give it to them straight, but also it's the follow-up and support and giving them solutions. They know that things aren't going as well as what we would like, so it's what we're going to do about it, not dwell on what's not working for us right now. So we've got some things that we're putting in place to try and help them through that, and obviously this week against Adelaide as well, that we hope can sort of spark them and get them going again.
Troy Chaplin, our guest, Grow Your Business with Bendigo Bank, called today. Hey, Troy, tell us about your role as a coach. I'm always interested in how many hours a coach puts in. You're probably thinking 24/7 all the time, be more than the players are actually out there. But how does it work for you as an assistant? What's your daily sort of progress? Do you get any days off during the week?
Yeah, look, it's been a challenging transition. I mean, as a player, you certainly know what sort of hours the coaches put in, but when you actually thrust into that position, it certainly does take you by surprise. He's great at about our own work-life balance and making sure we get to see our families. We get a day off similar to the players, but generally that day off you're looking at vision. I mean, I had a look at Adelaide v Brisbane last night at home, and I'll have a look at Adelaide West Coast tomorrow it's our day off tomorrow. But I mean, you're there, but what you're trying to do is find ways to make the players better, and you're just trying to find anything you can, come up with new ideas, new things you can implement. Sometimes you don't even implement them. It's just about generating ideas and thoughts. So it's been a good transition. I've enjoyed it. I'm looking after the Backline group now, and it's a younger group that as I said, we're getting some games into some younger guys and finding some things. So it's something I really enjoy doing. It's amazing as a player, you've got your purpose in trying to win a premiership and have some success with the players around you. But as a coach, your purpose changes, and it's more about making those other guys better and helping them improve. It's not about you anymore. It's about their story and how you can help them.
Yeah, with the back line, Troy, you've got a couple of handy players hopefully coming back soon. Jake Lever, whereabouts is he? And Stephen May, who I spent a lot of time with up at the Gold Coast Suns. How are those two going?
Yeah, look, Maisie he'll come back through the VFL this week. He's missed a fair bit of footy. I think it'd be unfair to bring him up to Darwin and thrust him straight back in. So he'll play VFL this week, and Jake, we're hoping, recovers from an ankle injury. We'll give him every chance, but the same sort of thing. He's missed a fair chunk of footy. Would it be fair to sort of put him in there? If not, both of those guys will be available next week. So it's something that we'll talk about. But at the same time, we haven't got too many players to pick from. So it's challenging juggling those two things. But we've got to look at what's best for those two guys.
Troy, on a sombre note, very sad to hear the passing of Brad Green's wife at the age of 40. It sort of hit the AFL world by storm for the wrong reasons. You would have played against Brad, of course, a Melbourne star, played a lot of games there, but that's awful news.
Yeah, look, we first heard about it the other day, obviously, and it's just terrible. We see Brad around the club a little bit, and we're able to get him in last year, and he's just such a great person, and obviously not knowing, and it's just so sad, and you sort of reflect on it, and you're grateful for what you've got and how quickly it can be taken away. And I know it's hit Nathan Jones pretty hard. He was very close with the family and played a lot of footy with Brad. So we send our deepest condolences to the family, to Brad and the children. It's just something that you don't like seeing, and unfortunately it happens too often.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. Well said. Just one final one, mate. Tom McDonald, forward or back? Where would you like him to play? Back with you or up forward? Where's the best spot for him, you think?
I think forward's his best spot. We just need to get Tom going. I think he's played his best footy the last couple of years as a forward and shown what he's capable of. We played him down back a couple of weeks ago against Richmond, almost as just a circuit breaker, just to try and change things. But we know we've got that up our sleeve if we need to, depending on what Adelaide does with selection. But we think his best footy for the football club is going to be as a forward.
Mate, thanks for your time. All the best up at the top end, and always appreciate your time, Troy.
No worries, guys. Thanks very much. No worries, guys. Thanks.